Yesterday's press conference saw Onosato also reveal the philosophy underpinning his recent improvement. Last year, he'd basically gotten by on all that he'd learned at Nihon Sports Uni. Not just in the sumo ring, but on the athletics track too. However, by last November, it was clear he'd been well studied, as foe after foe found a way to stall his trusted inside right. At that point, did his master Nishonoseki say, "Your uni experience will no longer suffice, you've cleaned out your account. The only way you'll refill it is through harder professional training." It is widely claimed Sato fought twice as many practice bouts as usual prior to March. And as he faced Sunday's final day, his master made sure to remind him that he who has trained best shall win. Now, my apologies, a slight correction to yesterday's piece in case you missed my comment box footnote. Sato, this May, is going for Yokozuna in his 13th professional meet and not his 12th. And even if that bid fails, he still has until September to break the Yokozuna promotion record of 16 tournaments, currently held by these two legends. Yesterday also saw the Yokozuna Council take the rare step of addressing public flack. You may recall the raised eyebrows when it recommended promoting Hoshoryu after no discussion at all, despite obvious splits in the rankings committee. Now, just to be clear, Chris Sumo, did not oppose their decision, but admittedly did expect a more vigorous to and fro leading up to it. I then learned that meeting was the last one for 3 Yokozuna Council members, including the outgoing chairman, who had made little secret of his wanting the thrill of promoting someone before his term was out. We also know sumo chiefs were obsessed with having a Yokozuna ready for London, even though most overseas fans, here at least, I think would be happy to meet any sumo wrestler in the flesh, regardless of whether a Yokozuna is among them. Anyway, the new council chairman, Mr. Oshima, has said in typical old Japan fashion, "I personally assessed Hoshoryu's promotion impartially and fairly. I remind everyone that our body recommends rather than decides. The sumo board has the final say. I assure you we entered that meeting having had vigorous discussions prior to it, and that the proper process was followed throughout." Mr. Oshima clearly seeks to stress his council's raison d'etre in the face of calls for its scrapping. What odds on Hoshoryu outlasting the council that promoted him? Let's see what the Yokozuna does when his rotten luck changes. One of the men to beat him this time was Ichiyamamoto, of course, who has held his latest interview with his native Hokkaido TV. I held it together in the ring that day, but in the interview room post-match I let out that huge smile, confessed the man who abandoned City Hall work to turn pro 8 years ago. In the aftermath, he continued, "My master gave me a cake for my efforts, and the entire stable said congratulations. And my incentive pay has risen by 40,000 yen per meet." Meanwhile, of the famous near kiss with Uda, knocked into him by Takayasu on the 2nd day of March, he said, "Uda inquired with his eyes as to whether I was hurt, and I nodded to let him know I was fine. But he really stamped down on my leg and gashed it. I was actually hurting and concerned about my upcoming bout, but it seemed to be okay." And finally, will ex-Saitama Sakai student Mudoho suffer heartbreak tomorrow when salaried promotions are announced? You may recall how last September, with Owakai Ikari and Koto Eho looking set but not certain for Division 2, that their Saitama Sakai seniors Takakeisho and Myogiryu gallantly retired to free up extra slots. That seems to be what Hokutofuji is prepared to do now, defaulting his final March bout to maximize his chances of demotion after strongly hinting on day 14 that he will be quitting. The NHK Sunday TV broadcast also dropped such hints. But there is still a high chance that he will stay up. for who can realistically see the rankings committee dropping Chairman Hakkaku's prize pupil, alongside another who can't be saved, in favour of a son of Takatoriki, their boss's sworn enemy. It's already been stressed by multiple outlets that Mita's 5 wins, 1 rung below, will count for more than Mudoho's 4. Much as Uda's 6 wins counted for more than Oho's 5 back in September 2020. Keep an eye out for that final decision.